Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, otherwise, what's going on, buddies? My name is AJ. I am the friendly hermit. You know me. I'm not even going to bother sitting down today. Fun. We got our palate cleanser. We don't need a palate cleanser right now because we're not reviewing anything today, which is new. This is the first time we haven't reviewed a beer, but nonetheless, we have our official, unofficial beverage / palate cleanser of the channel. So, dinker and drinker, ready? We got a sound of heaven. That's nice. That's nice. You might notice there's a weird angle. This is one of the only times we've ever put something that wasn't naturist in the background. Although it is. Whether or not it's man-made, certainly exacerbated by the dealings of men. This is a sky that is, as one, I don't know if you can see it properly. I'm going to step aside and maybe it'll focus more. It might be a bad image, regardless of whether or not, like my camera, it's going to take in light. I don't know how it interprets the light, but this is an orange sky. Oh, so, sorry, I forgot to take a sip. If you're my drinking buddy, I got to be drinking with you, right? You'll notice it's dark and hazy. And yeah, the sky is orange. For those of you that are new or don't know, I am in southern Ontario. That's all you need to know, realistically. This is southern Ontario right now, and it's very orange. The first thing you'll notice, and hopefully you have your windows and doors closed. First thing you'll notice, waking up today, it is July 15th, I believe, 2026. First thing you notice, everything smells like a campfire. The air smells like a campfire because the air is literally a campfire. Smoke from a massive wildfire in northern Ontario. And so I guess it's massive enough that the smoke is able to travel all the way south here. And of course, the government has put out air quality warnings telling us to stay inside, So, whoops. Does this count as evidence? You got to tell me if you're a cop, right? Are you a cop? You got to tell me if you're a cop. I just found it very striking. Also, noticing how severe the climate crisis has become in my life. And I know my life is anecdotal, like the stories, the things I've seen. It's just a small part of a larger whole, right? Obviously, my life does not mean anything larger. It's anecdotal, right? My experiences. They're just stories of an individual. You got to look at the bigger picture. But just crazy to me. I come outside, take a breath, campfire, first thing. Everything is campfire. And looking around, there's still just people everywhere, living their day, like going to work. Because, apocalypse or catastrophe doesn't change the fact that capitalism still requires the little meat puppet peasants to go and breathe poison air so that a billionaire can become a trillionaire. It's depressing. It is upsetting. And frankly, it's this uncanny unsettling. Like, am I crazy? Am I the only one, like, standing here staring at an apocalypse happening in real time, right? It's slow because it's a planet, but you're literally with your eyes seeing. Once again, I'll stand away and I'll see how the camera interprets the light, but we're literally in real time watching the planet burn. Obviously, there's no fires nearby, but that should be even more of a concern. Think about how far away these wildfires are. Northern Ontario, we're talking hundreds of kilometers away from here. I don't know specifically. The news had something. I'm pretty sure the news said where the fire was, but I'm drawing a blank right now. But go ahead and Google Northern Ontario wildfire July 15. I'm sure it'll be the first one that pops up. But yeah, however far away it is, the smoke is so dense that it puts haze, like it's a fog, right? It looks like a fog. It's not. It's smog, or rather smoke. And it changes the color of the sky orange. If you see the videos online, there's a couple of gentlemen that were trapped in a train working for the CP, Canadian, I don't know what they're called. It's a train, Canadian train, one of the Canadian train companies. Anyway, these two gentlemen are trapped. There's a video, they made a video, like just this train of theirs is just surrounded by flame, and I don't know the science about why the sky is orange. You look at me, I look orange, but that's because I always look orange. You guys make fun of me all the time for my tanning. I sit in the sun frequently. Although I will say, there's still an orange tint to this image. To me, like, I'm not this orange, am I? Like, I know just the image is orange. And by the way, no AI, no effects on this shot. This is just raw footage. Yeah, I'm not going to bother to sit down and get comfortable because I shouldn't be out here in the first place. I wanted you guys to see it so we can have a quick discussion about it. In fact, I'm not even going to talk long because I don't want to stay out here. I don't want to say it's hard to breathe, but it's not. I just know in my heart something's wrong with the air. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is probably not good. But then I wonder, if I go inside, does it really make a difference? Like, the air is coming from somewhere. It's not like oxygen materializes cleanly inside my space, It's coming from the outside. I don't know if my building has some type of air filtration system, but that's my building right there, by the way. I do not live in the big apartment building. I live in this little guy. I know I shouldn't show this stuff on the internet, but I'm old and jaded. I don't care anymore. I don't got anything for you to take. So, that's where I live. And, yeah, it's just this unsettling, calm, or what would the word be, where I'm watching something devastating, but the reaction that I'm seeing from the people around me it contradicts what is visually taking place. Do you know what I mean? I know people have to pay their bills. I know people have to, pay rent and buy groceries and all this. But I think to myself, it's a 10 plus. So the scale goes to 10 for unsafe air quality. And on the website, it said 10 plus. So they just gave up being like, yeah, no, it's really dangerous. It's beyond dangerous. Don't go outside, sort of thing. And I don't know, maybe the data's, there's different websites giving different readings. I don't know. But the contradiction in what I see versus how people are reacting, there's got to be a word for this. And please, in the comments, improve my vocabulary, because like, am I crazy? It makes me think I'm crazy. I must be crazy. How is no one else freaking out about this? Like, maybe I'm the only one. I can't be. Like, there's obviously people out there, but orange sky, man. Orange sky. I want to talk about the larger effects of climate change. And again, this is anecdotes, my experiences, so it does not necessarily speak to the larger whole in terms of climate statistics over time, or where we are on the map. But all I know is my experience, and this only started happening, or rather, it started accelerating these past couple years. I lived in a little town called Stratford a few years back, and believe it or not, I was making TikToks at that time because I didn't have this camera, but I had my phone, so I would make TikToks. And there's a video I have from when I was in Stratford doing something very similar to this, but it was windy, so I was like screaming at my phone, But point is, this event and that event, like last summer, unbelievable. It's the first time I've ever seen it in my whole life. I'm almost 40. Next year I'm turning 40. And I live outside. Like, it's what I do, right? Like, I'm always out here. I've never seen it before last year, maybe the year before that. And so, again, I know it's an anecdote. I know that's my personal experience. It does not speak to the larger problem. But again, in my heart, I know this is not right. Something's wrong. It's not a one-off thing. Maybe last year, the few times it happened, it was a coincidence. But smelling campfire in the air, a campfire, by the way, which is a very, really kind word to use for it. The wildfire, this massive fire, is hundreds of kilometers away. And I'm breathing it in here. I smell it. I'm tasting it in the air. Something's not right here. Do you know what I mean? And I understand we need oil and gasoline and all that jazz to continue producing things. Like, I'm not so much of a left wing. I am very left wing. You'll know that if you've seen the channel. But I also understand we have to transition away from burning fossil fuels. I understand there has to be, because everything we have, all of the tools we own currently, mostly, are they explode gas, they explode gasoline or whatever, diesel. They light a fuel and then a piston, compress fuel, and then you get it. You understand. The tools we have require the oil. So my question then is, why the hell haven't we started hyperspeed developing technologies using what we have now, hyper speed, very quickly jumping into tools and equipment and sources of energy that are renewable? And I know the answer. Of course, we all know the answer. And isn't it funny? The only people that suffer are the poor, right? The working class. Because the billionaires, they have whatever millions of dollars worth of air quality filters in their homes. And that's one of the things, by the way, that the government website recommended. Hey, if you have an air filter, some type of air filter device, make sure it's running with a really good filter. Are you going to provide me with that? I don't have money for that. Government, what are you talking about? You want me to just go to Walmart and buy one with what money? But yeah, the billionaires can fly away from it. They can buy expensive technologies to, improve the air quality themselves. They have, they have all of these things they can do. Heck, they have the best access to doctors too. I don't know, man. It just seems like what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we doing? It's such a hopeless. Like, this is why, like, oh, AJ, why are you drinking right now? You're not doing a beer review. You came outside to, shit talk the rich and talk about climate change. And all of y'all there's so many of you are just so tired of talking about climate change. And I don't blame you, because I've said it many times before. I'm jaded. There's no hope. There's no future. People wonder why my generation isn't having kids at the same rate. Looking at the apocalypse, and we're just cool with it. People are gonna leave comments in this video shit talking me, which is an absurdity. Like, I tried to take the most reasonable. It's not even a hot take. We have to use fossil fuels to get to renewable sources of energy. You know what I mean? Like, that's my hot take, and people are going to lose their goddamn minds over that. The world is crazy. Staring at the apocalypse, watching it happen in real time, and it's a slow burn. Pardon the pun, it was unintentional. And it's only going to get worse because billionaires want more. It's fucking infuriating. I have children, and this is the world that they're getting. It's not my fault. I'm not taking any more blame. I'm too jaded to. It's not the working class's fault. I don't know. I don't want to be depressing. There's no hopeful message, however. I don't want to depress you, but I can't give you any positive. Go and stop, ride a bike instead of driving your car. Okay. That's going to solve everything. Nah, it's like 70% of all the world's pollution is caused by billionaires, industry. It's like that massive of a difference. Considering how many humans there are, like average working people, you can't tell me driving a car to work versus a bike is going to fix the problem. It's only 30%. That's not literal. Don't quote those numbers, but what I'm saying is, if every working class person stopped using fossil fuels or purchasing things that require fossil fuels, all of this, stopped using heat in their house, air conditioning, all of this stuff, right? If all of the working people turned off their shit and switched to renewable sources of energy, it would still be 70% of all the pollution is still being caused somewhere else. Hopeless. So I hope your favorite color is orange. And I know I love a good campfire, my friends. It smells real nice out here. It smells real nice. Again, if you watched last episode, dark sense of humor. But I do love me a nice campfire. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, bud. I'm going to go inside and, I don't know, just stare at the ceiling. I can't go outside today. Dinker. And here we go, drinker, ready? Let's see if we can get I don't know if my face is blurry. I'm trying to fix the camera. I love y'all. Stay safe. Stay indoors. Sorry for depressing you, but it's not depressing when you just don't care anymore. That's the problem. That's the problem. If you don't care, it's like there's no future, there's no hope. There's no dream. There's no, potential. The world will keep living. In fact, maybe that's the hopeful message. Maybe humans will go away. And that's sad because I like humans, at least for the most part. It's the bad ones that they make it worse for the rest of us. I don't know what else to say. Cheers. I burped. That's the last thing I have to say. And it was exactly correct. That burping like that is the correct response to today's universe, today's world. Bye-bye.